Hello everyone, my name is Asterix and this is the Rainbow SMP, a SMP focused on members of the LGBTQ community that I'll be playing on. My character's name is Survey and I'm an avian lizard hybrid, and I put this video together just to show you guys a couple of my first days on the SMP. I will be recording videos of this SMP to put on YouTube, and I will also try to stream it on Twitch, links in the description. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's go, see you in a bit. I arrived in this beautiful village that I later came to know was called Town. A beautiful scenery around me. There was one other person online, but I didn't get to meet them until later, so I decided to just have a walk around and see the sights, as it were. The town was absolutely beautiful, with a floating island at the top, beautiful decoration in the form of these flowering azalea trees. There were some dogs. I also found a trash bin where people would put things I didn't want anymore, so I decided to take some things, just to get me started. I explored all throughout the town, getting to know my surroundings and finding out where things were. I found a lot of buildings, though I didn't know who lived there precisely, but I came to find that out later anyway. There was a very obvious wall surrounding this village, which told me that perhaps there were more settlements nearby, and everything was nicely lit up and decorated. While exploring the village, I found these strange signs in front of a treehouse reading, "A kind ruler in hindsight will always fall in the light. If they fail in the end, they will not prevail. Justice will not be held if the truth cannot be told. Items have no power if you don't care about them." Strange. After mindlessly running around for a while exploring the village, I decided to meet up with Shoot Kapow, the only other online member of the server. I tried to find him without much success and tried to explain my whereabouts without knowing exactly where my whereabouts were. So we ran around each other for a while, trying to communicate through the miracles of in-game chat, and basically just running around like headless chickens. But eventually I managed to find them. Shoot Kapow, being the generous and kind soul that they were, then proceeded to shower me in gifts. So many gifts. Bear in mind that at this point I was literally holding only a few pieces of stone, some andesite and some diorite, and a stack of torches. And the gifts didn't stop. Emeralds, diamonds, iron, everything I needed to get started on my new home. It was an amazing start to the server. I proceeded to run around for a bit longer, intent on finding a place to settle. Viltown was beautiful after all, and I thought this would be a very nice place for a new home. So I explored the rest of the city, finding some interesting stands and other constructions, while I was looking for a place to build my new home. But my plans were soon to change. As I was going about my business, exploring, making some tools for myself, I began to notice something suspicious. I was being followed. There were particles and I saw a bottle in the water. I would later come to realize that this was Shoot Kapow, who'd been watching me as a sort of guardian angel, but also to try to convert me to come to Lathenburg. Shoot Kapow had been nothing but nice to me. I decided to at least go give it a look. Shoot Kapow led me outside of the gates of Viltown and into the great district of Lathenburg, a place that housed many great pride flags and a lot of lovely buildings. This is where I would be making my home. Across Asphodel Park. Entering the districts, I found lovely scenery, wonderful paths, rolling wheat fields, a subway, everything you'd expect. I found out that Lathenburg was trying to win back independence from Viltown, and I also found an influx of chickens, which was absolutely lovely. There was also a beautiful pond with some axolotls. I also made this interesting discovery of a beautiful monument. Lovely. And so I began scouting out a place for me to live, finding the dark bay that was edging the borders, and Shoot Kapow still invisible somewhere around me. At first I thought I might settle in the forest, but my eyes soon fell on a different location. A lake just behind this towering house. It looked perfect to me, just set in a valley. I wanted to build here, and so I asked for permission. I left for a bit to get dinner, and when I returned, Shoot Kapow had built this wonderful bridge here. A perfect startup for my new home. With the foundations done, it was time for me to gather materials and start building my house. I chopped some wood for a chest, and Shoot Kapow was kind enough to let me borrow what materials they had left after building the bridge. I first decided to only take some wood, but eventually caved and took the entire thing. Because, well, why say no to some free stuff? With my base materials in hand, being spruce wood and stone bricks, I began to get to work on my base. I wanted the design of my base to be kind of circular, like a circular tower, but I wanted it to remain a little natural, so I didn't try to make it look perfect. I filled in all the gaps in the ground with some dirt to make the area kind of flat, and set about building the foundation. The shape ended up being kind of oblong and egg-shaped, which I really like, so I started building up the spruce pillars. I would then soon come to realize that I had nowhere near enough spruce wood, so I went in search of a spruce biome. Thankfully it only took me like 10 minutes or so to find one, and I chopped down a lot of trees. I made a little bit of headway, but it wasn't long until Shoot Kapow messaged me asking me to meet them at Hex's house to listen to a music disc, and so I went. Hex's house was wonderful, if a little bit cluttered, but the decor was absolutely amazing. I had to wait for a little bit as Shoot needed to find a jukebox, so I decided to just have a look at the surroundings, and it was absolutely wonderful. I also discovered there was a little spruce here. I did not need to travel that far. But finally, Shoot called me back up to the second floor and played the music, and it was wonderful. Come and enjoy it with me for a bit. There, wasn't that nice? Anyway, after that Shoot Kapow led me through the nether to a place where I could get a whole lot more spruce. This was, of course, my first time in the nether, and honestly it was kind of terrifying having to traverse it without any armor and minimal weapons, but I made it there safely. And I chopped up a whole lot of spruce. After I safely got home, I started working more on my base. I will be covering the rest of the work on my base in a big old time lapse, which also includes me material gathering and working on it over a couple of days. I hope you enjoy this time lapse, and I'll see you when it's done. Goodbye! And that's the first part of the build done. I am pretty happy with how it's looking. As you can see around me right now, I have done more, but I will be recording that in a separate time lapse where I will just be focusing on the build as a whole. And then I will also probably come out with another video of what I've been up to on the SMP. Until then, goodbye, and please like and subscribe. Thank you, it helps out a lot. Bye! Bye!